Welcome to Strength Chat Podcast, presented by Kabuki Strength. Introducing your hosts, Chris Duffin, the mad scientist of strength, Rudy Cadlow, mature athlete and coach, and the wizard of training himself, Brandon Sen.
Welcome to Strength Chat with your host. Well, my partner over here is already laughing. He's so tired of my introduction.
We got to break it up a little bit.
Break it up? The intro is all yours today, Rudy. Welcome. Let's go ahead.
Yes.
Get rolling.
Well, I'm rolling. Okay. Well, I'm Dr. Rudolph, and to my far right, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, is the Director of Training and Education and Head Coach at Kabuki Strength.
Many titles.
Wizard of Training.
The Wizard of Kabuki
Brandon
Strength.
Sen. Yes, absolutely. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Rudy. You didn't introduce me, but that's all right.
You already did.
No, I got interrupted.
Oh, we're tired of it.
All right, everybody knows who you are.
Okay. All right, you got the next one. Brandon's
scientist.
I just don't want to turn over intros to Brandon.
No, that's a bad idea.
No,
I wouldn't do that.
bad idea.
Chris Duffin.
So I missed out on something this weekend, apparently.
You did.
I did.
We had a blast at Juan Martinez's wedding.
Who's Juan?
Juan is our customer service guy.
Slash welder, slash
sales,
strength coach.
He does strength coach sales.
He does it all. He's
yes.
former strength coach at Oregon State, is now officially a Kabuki Strength employee, and he took his first week of being an employee. Now he's already on vacation on his honeymoon.
That's what.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't that day 2? He's on his honeymoon.
He started June 1 and June 8th. He leaves on his honeymoon. So that's good.
Where's he going?
That's good work.
Where did he go?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Oh no, he's going on his honeymoon in December.
Well,
He's just taking a leave of absence here.
Okay.
He's got his real honeymoon coming up though.
Anyway, he married Alejandra, and Alejandra's family is from Mexico. Juan is Mexican, so they had a traditional Mexican wedding.
I heard there's a mariachi band.
Oh, it was
14
a
piece.
blast. Yeah,
It was awesome, actually.
It was crazy. There was some crazy dancing going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Won the dance off with his buddy. Finished up with the lawnmower and the
Macarena.
The Macarena, right? Yeah. So he won hands down.
I think we need to find video of that and put that in the show.
I have the
Okay.
video. I took a picture of it. Yeah, I got the video going.
Well, should we get rolling with today's podcast? I mean, we're doing a video one, and we've got somebody here, so we'll probably introduce him at some point, I guess.
Big Joe.
Welcome,
Szymanek.
That's right.
Welcome to the show. This is Joe Szymanek. He is joining us, and actually, I think we first met, was it 1 or 2 years ago? It was a little while ago. And meet, I use the word loosely,
Yeah. Well, maybe 18 months. We'll split it there.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we had reached out to you because we interviewed you with Doc and Jock, an old podcast I was doing. So I'm fired up to be in here. I want to cut in on this conversation about Juan's wedding. It kind of lets you know that who wears the pants in that marriage. If you're having a honeymoon 2 days after you start a new job, that means wifey's in charge. What do you think?
Well, she's a pretty girl and smart, and she's in control. She's a professional. She actually works downtown Portland, and they're off to a great start. They're excited. Yeah.
I was in a similar spot when I was coaching football in Texas. We got down there, got a job in the fall, and then me and my wife had our real wedding coming up, and they were like, "Bro, you don't get married in the fall in Texas. It's football season. It's not wedding season." And I didn't live it down my whole 3 years down there coaching. So, but no, guys, I'm fired up to be here, man. This is really cool.
Yeah. So these days we've got another. I love the Doc and Jock podcast. I'm sure that I was the best guest you guys ever have on. I mean, just unforgettable. So it's greatest. But that's. I was done kind of partnered with another individual that's associated with Mobility Watt, who we interact a fair bit with. And then today, you've got a new podcast going Everyday Weightlifter, is that correct?
Yeah, so I do a podcast now with, by the way, back to your interview, I will say, you might not have been the greatest guest, but the only one who's eaten
definitely
porcupine. Don't you? So
yes.
I'm still consumed by that thought. I need to get some while we're out here, but
I recommend that you don't actually.
Okay.
I think I spoke of it fairly accurately.
Yeah.
That it's not
good.
Not a desired cuisine. No, and very painful cuisine to get as well.
Pick the pulls out first.
Yeah,
it's not like swallowing a fish bone.
Well, it's one of those ones you got to skin really fast because the skin, makes the meat go not
rancid?
taste good really quick, rancid. So yeah, and they're really hard to kill. So
really?
Cool. Oh yeah.
Okay.
No.
But to the everyday weightlifter, I actually do that one with a guy named Phil Sabatini, who's a pretty competitive weightlifter. 10 years he's been podium at the national level. He's made some international teams, but the thought there is he's 37, he's got 3 kids. I'm 37, I have 3 kids, but we figure out a way to keep weightlifting working and how to integrate it in our lives and still enjoy it. I think you guys might realize this, that sometimes folks get so into training that all of a sudden training's not fun anymore, right? So part of the thing with the everyday weightlifter and our whole message is, it can still be fun, you can still be competitive, but don't be so uptight about it. You know what I mean? So that's
or the gap, which you see in lifters a lot of times. Rudy pointed this out to me. It was several years ago. He's in the gym, and Rudy's like, look around. He's like, there's no one else in this gym like you. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, there's no one your age with kids here. Yeah. We have everybody in their 20s, and then we have all these 50-plus athletes. The whole gym is completely full, and I'm the only one at the time, in my mid-30s, with kids, training in the gym, and there's just this period where people
child rearing and
just go.
When you're trying to get your
career
going, your career going. It's a gap. There's a lot of people that just cannot work the time into training.
Well, I think what you guys have talked about, I think where people mess that up is they'll try to do too much, and then in their effort to try and do too much, they end up doing nothing at all, right? So you got to carve out the time. And I think there's some tricks. One thing that we would do, and I recommend everybody, have a little garage set up. That's something that you can get your work in when you can, but schedule it. And guys in particular, I find schedule where they try and do way too much. Ladies who are with parent or have kiddos, they try and do too little, to some degree, where they don't want to get in there. But you gotta just prioritize your training like you prioritize anything else.
Well, that's actually exactly why Kabuki Strength exists today, because I built the home gym because I'm like, I have this amount of time to train. I had offers from a really well-known powerlifting gym in the area to come train. I'm like, that's a 30-minute commute. Yeah, I don't have time for that and back to I've got got the career, I've got I want to get the family started, all this sort of stuff, and Kabuki Strength started as a home gym in the basement with Mr. Cadlow.
Awesome. But you always said too, you should always try to do something, even if you're not training. Try to get 15 minutes in a day. So if you have a set of dumbbells at home or a curl bars, you can do something for 15 minutes and get the flow going and accomplish something.
Well, I was talking with there's a guy who I'm getting into his elk hunting community, right? And these guys all want to train, and they're like, well, how do I get a 2-hour ruck march in? I'm like, you don't, right? So get a sandbag, work for 7 minutes, do something, then up it as you go. But get in what you can. If you can't get a 2-hour ruck march in, get a box, go a little faster, get it going.
When my son was born, I was trying to figure out how to fit GPP in. Yeah. So what I do is I get home, and my wife wanted some time away from the baby, so I'd go out, strap him to my stomach, and I'd hook up the sled, and I'd start going down the street. Man, I got funny looks. So I'm sitting there walking down the street with the sled on behind me, with baby on front of me, and
seen out of Mad Max.
Yeah, so
hey, you've really toned it down since then. Now you're pushing a stroller.
I
Where's
know.
the sled at?
I
saw you with the stroller around the building. I'm going to hook a sled to you next time.
I don't need to fit that in that manner anymore.
We'll see about that.
What was the other thing? You had the lawnmower hooked up to the sled or something? What was it?
No, I got rid of that. So I had an electric lawnmower, but I went and bought a manual push, the spin mowers. Yeah. And then I took all my extra plates and strapped them to it. And then I would time myself for how fast I could mow the lawn, right?
To get in the GPP working.
Well,
yes.
The most surprising thing there is you have an electric mower. I watch your media.
It was a gas mower.
Oh, okay.
No.
It doesn't fit.
No electric mowers.
Okay.
I mean, unless it was Tesla, then it'd be fully approved.
This is not a widely known fact, but But you got an electric car for quite a while.
Yeah.
The Leaf.
Yeah.
The Nissan Leaf.
3 years.
Yeah.
Awesome. I just want to see you get in and out of something like that.
It was entertaining.
It was pretty funny.
It was like driving around. It was like driving around a little a go-kart. It was like a really fast go-kart. It was kind of fun.
Awesome.
But I'd never get it again. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it comes down to prioritizing and making that stuff fit in. And
100%.
And, yeah.
It makes your time what you want to do with it, right? How many people do you know that will bitch about how much time they don't have, but they have a 2-hour commute, or they have no time, but they sit on the couch at the end of the night for an hour on their phone? I mean, you can find it if you want it for what you care about.
Yeah.
So.
So one thing that you know is a fact. You have all the time there is.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
You have all the time there is.
So we've got this this book in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me about this book? Oh, and there's also a bottle of Bullet Rye. We better try this out.
Does every book come with that? Every book sale?
Well, how about this? Maybe every time I do a podcast with some fine individuals, I'll bring a bottle of something with it. I'm not sure if it'll be, but
is this cup clean?
yeah, listening to you guys
You'll be okay.
talk.
There's no. I did check all of them to make sure that there was no illicit substances laying in the bottom of these shot glasses.
You can just dump
See?
some
Look.
of mine.
There was powder in the bottom of mine last time.
It's protein powder.
You did wash that out, right?
Has anyone done that?
I did wash it
Protein powder
out.
version?
Well, I was going to have you use the shot glass, but that's good.
I know you guys
No
are.
measure.
You are the first podcast guest to have. I mean, we've had many people bring whiskey, but no
I think we
podcast.
peer pressured Mark Bell into drinking.
You did.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that wasn't. He didn't bring that whiskey.
No.
No, he didn't bring it,
Sure.
but it was a win.
That was
so.
our first live one. This is our, third? Fourth?
Third or fourth, something like that.
Live one,
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Fourth. I think it's
Fired
fourth.
up, fellas.
Probably
Yeah.
our 70th.
So is this now the official start of the podcast? Now the
Oh.
Bourbon Sport?
No, we've been going for.
No,
this
no,
is the
yeah.
end.
Okay.
So now it's over. So
Cheers, fellas.
yeah, sorry, it was a short one. You didn't get a chance to talk about your book.
Cheers, Joe.
But thanks for
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
thanks for the drive down.
Yeah.
And
It was a great scenic route.
yeah.
High five.
All right.
Yep, let's
all
do
the
it.
way from
To the
Tacoma.
children.
All the way from Tacoma. So, Joe, why are you here? Tell us about Lucy Meets a Powerlifter. How did this all come about?
Yes, this is a picture book. It's actually a funny story. There's a mutual acquaintance. I know Donnie's been up here a few times. Donnie Thompson.
Yep. Donnie's a good friend and actually partner on developing some of our products that are out there, and we work with him on that. So
Which is the huge person on the back of the book.
Yeah, so actually the likeness of the powerlifter is inspired by Donnie. And it was a completely organic story. So I used to live in Columbia, South Carolina, where the compound is, and I had a little weightlifting team out of the garage. And I'm always trying to get my weightlifters to come to the compound with me. And Donnie's got these giant tubes he's crushing people with, but after you're done getting crushed, you feel better. He'll fix your ankles. He does his stuff. And they were afraid of him. And I look at my little daughter. We're all training in the garage. I'm like, guys, Donnie is not mean and scary. He's just big and hairy. And then
He's not mean and scary.
just
He's
big and hairy.
And then we finally get him down there. But he's a great guy, funny guy. You guys know him. He's a generous guy with all his time and training, and just spending time with him. And that's how the book started. And it was a funny little poem that came out of that line. And then I told someone the poem. They liked it. I started making sketches, and then they're like, "Yeah, your sketches are okay. So find an artist." So and it grew from that. So it's just a neat little thing, and I'm real excited about it. It's my little attempt to get kids off the couch and thinking about strength sports. To be honest with you, I teach PE. We want to throw a soccer ball in their hand really quick. We want to get little girls in gymnastics really fast. We want to get them dancing for all these reasons. But I find that people get unhappy as they get older because they lose strength. They get unhappy because they lose movement skills. So this is an attempt to develop strength and a different movement skill early on.
So where do people find the book? Is it actually is it on Amazon now?
So
Kindle or
Amazon just went live on, I don't know when this is going to be released, but Tuesday, whatever, last Tuesday.
Okay.
We do have a Kindle version. I have some hard and soft cover versions, but yeah, it's available wherever, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, but the best place to buy the book is actually LucyMeetsAPowerlifter.com. So they'll buy that directly through me. My kids, they'll draw a little picture, but it's
so Lucy is your daughter, is that correct?
Lucy's my youngest daughter.
Yeah.
So
How old is she?
right now she's, I always forget. which sucks. But she's between.
You're not supposed to admit that.
Yeah, I know.
Just make up.
You could just make it up.
Just make it up.
She's 3 or 4.
23 years old.
I think she'll be 4 in September. I'm pretty sure she'll be 4 in September.
Okay.
I got my daughter's age actually incorrect last night.
I do it all the time.
And
How old did you say she was?
I said she was 5.
And she's
Oh,
not.
She corrected me immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
big
4.5.
yeah, she's 6.
Yeah.
So I was I was quite incorrect and was notified of that.
Very cool.
So has this book had an influence on Lucy?
We read it to her. I mean, it's influenced. It's influenced a couple folks. I mean, we did our first reading at a CrossFit gym, and it's just a book that, to me, I don't necessarily know if I wanted to make her be a powerlifter as much as to empower her to do whatever she wants. You know, even the interview you guys had recently, was it Marissa?
Mm-hmm.
It was striking that there's still this idea that, you know, women today are getting stronger than ever. I feel like that. You see it more on social media. Ladies are powerlifting, but man, at the kiddo level, there's still you don't want to push kids into strength. You don't want to push girls into barbell sports. You don't want to become meatheads. Like, there's this weird thing about that. I'm like, well, why? You know what I mean? If a girl has this idea to be strong, do it. If a girl has this idea to do anything, if anyone has an idea to go after something, why are we putting any parameters on anybody, especially a kiddo? So, if anything, I think it's just influenced me and her to just do whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? I want to be strong. I like barbells. We have them in the garage. I'll push him into weightlifting, but if she's like, you know, Dad, screw you, I want to dance, well, we'll go do that. You know what I mean? That's what I hope happens with this book.
No, that's great. But she'll be a strong dancer, I'll bet.
Well, she has to be. I mean, that's what I did say. I mean, we left today, and the girls are doing pull-ups. Charlie does gymnastics. All 3 of the kids do gymnastics, but strength is a requirement. For our kids, the way we end up implementing it is just having the stuff scattered around the house. There's kettlebells in the living room. There's a bunch of. We don't even park the cars in the garage. There's a rope hanging. You know, we're hanging from things. We're pulling things. We're picking them up. In fact, we got a Thompson Fat Bell from Rogue Fitness, by the way. We picked one up, and the first guy to try and pick it up was my son. He's 6 years old.
Uh-huh.
He tried to pick up a 70-pound fat bell. It's just in us to want to do that stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I want to just hopefully push that a little further.
My daughter's the one that's all about that. My son he's very adamant that powerlifting is not in his future.
Yeah.
But my 6-year-old got it right today. She won't know that. But.
Is she your middle?
No. Oh yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Because I got.
Are we forgetting?
Yeah, I got it. Well,
Oh, yeah,
I got a 6-month-old too.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
So you have 3.
Yes.
People don't understand. 3 kids. I had some idiot tell me that 3 kids is easy as 2. I'm like, no. Everything, you're outnumbered with 3.
Everything after 1 is a problem.
Oh my gosh, it's
you
the
get
hardest thing ever.
outnumbered as soon as you get 2.
Playing zone defense on 3 kids is hard.
Yeah, when it's just 1, you know, you can trade off. You can take turns. When
That's
there's
exactly
2, you're
right.
both
Might
occupied.
have a mutiny on your hands with 3.
Yeah, when there's 3, believe me, I have 5 kids. I have 12 grandchildren, so
Nice.
I'll definitely be picking
Plus
up
all
some
the
books from you
employees.
Yeah,
here.
please.
5 granddaughters here, so. But this is not just a girls' book, right? I mean, it's
No.
a children's book, and it's.
Well, and I think that's the thing with the book too. Yeah, it's a neat little concept. You know, we want to empower women, but we tried to do the artwork in a way that it's got a harder edge to it, and even some of the equipment. And one of the reasons, you know, there's a monolift in the book. There's kettlebells in the book. The shoulder.
There's a beautiful shoulder rock in the book. Oh yeah.
There's sandbags in the book. I mean, the thought with me is parents can field questions from kids. Parents might get interested in it. You know, it's as much for the power lifter who wants to give a gift to their kid, or to me it's like a starter guide, like a really low level starter guide for powerlifting. Like, there's enough stuff in there to ask questions. So I think boys should love it. Parents should enjoy it, and I think you know, I'm biased because I love the project. We've been working on it for a long time, but we put a lot of thought into even within the book, very sneakily through the artwork, introducing progressions. You know, they're doing push-ups in front of the bench press, so it's like, hey, there's a thing going on here. You know what I mean? They are doing some goblet squats in front of the squat rack. You know what I mean? There's an interesting play on it. So boys, girls, parents, coaches. I think it's for all of them. but I'm biased on the author, so check it out.
So you went to school at Western Maryland, is
Yes,
that right?
yes, sir.
Did you major in physical education there?
I did exercise science and sports coaching, and I went there knowing I was going to go back to Philadelphia and coach at Szymanek High School. That was it. And since then, anything but has happened. But yeah, did study some exercise science.
And you're coaching now still, or?
Yeah. So what I do now is I am a military spouse. So I am the Army wife. They didn't invite me on the show. But yeah, so I've just been following my wife around. Every time she wants to get out of the Army, they invite her back in. They send her to physical therapy
3 years
school.
somewhere else. Huh?
Yep. And well, she ended up going through their Baylor program, through West Point for a PhD and some other stuff. So just following her around, I've just pieced together this vagabond coaching resume, which is kind of cool. Learning from different folks, playing in CrossFit, playing in weightlifting, now kind of coaching remotely and getting back. As my kids get older, I'm going back into teaching PE, which I think is really what I like to do. If coaching kids is, I think, unbelievable.
Yeah, honestly, that's huge. So, everybody wants to go out there and be like, oh, I want to be a strength coach. I want to work with elite level athletes only. I want to do blah, 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 right? You hear the same thing over and over and over again. But the huge lack in our society today is the lack of people being not necessarily powerlifting or weightlifting or anything, but physically active and having that as a cornerstone of your life. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not a big runner. It could be running. I don't care. But like we've gone so far away from this, and the influence just isn't there. Schools cut those programs and stuff a lot first. But even when you go in and observe some of it, it's
trash.
I'd say that, but like it is.
When I went into a lot of what I end up doing is inspired by my family. Like, interesting family history. I decided when I'm older, family's a commitment until it's not, right? And when is it not? So, following the wife around, doing whatever, raising the kids, there's meaning behind it. So now as the kids are getting school age, we're finding opportunities. Well, how can I teach the kids, and how can I be involved in their education and still mix all this in? So even teaching part-time at my kids' little Catholic school, when I came in there, the parents were like, what the hell are you making our kids do? They're sore, they're messed up, like you're working them too hard. But by the end of the year, we're feeling it the opposite way. Oh my gosh, so-and-so didn't want to ever do anything but be on his iPad. Now he's moving. He wants to do it. My kid's doing push-ups after dinner because you told him to. Like, it's really strange. We've placed this emphasis on technology, and we've placed this emphasis on information being so important, and we forgot somewhere. And I think we're starting to see that pendulum swing the other way. That movement really, it's essential to being human. Like, you have to sneak it in.
It's essential for mental health, for emotional health. Yeah. It's not. Everybody wants to think about it as just the physical aspect, and it's way beyond that. It affects everything that we do. So
yeah, it's kind of interesting what you said about the parents of the kids questioning that, because what's scary about that is we're now in the second generation of people not moving well, of not having a good physical fitness base.
Well, and it's super scary. So when back to Doc and Jock days, it's even scarier than that. We're in a generation of kids that not only are they not moving a lot, but they're super sleep deprived. We talk about people not sleeping, people not doing particular things, but they're also not sleeping. There's a lot of weird things that we're doing in terms of really screwing up a developmental pathway that was producing Olympians, producing people that were conquering nature, to now we seem to be through just like this sedentary apocalypse, I don't know, that's coming at us. I think we're in a big problem. So whether it's through training to make you awesome, or some lifestyle habits to make you healthy, whatever that is, I think that the simplest way to go about it is just find a way to incorporate movement. Find a way, train something you enjoy, but find a way to walk more, stand more in your lifestyle, and I think you'll be so much better.
Yeah, the general physical preparedness of America has really
it's trash. It's getting
really
bad.
It's scary. If we ever had to go to to battle right now with other nations that haven't let that happen, I mean,
you can hear that conversation seep into a lot of different things. I mean, there's a gentleman named Tim Kennedy. Everyone here probably listens to Joe Rogan, right? I mean, he's one of the better podcasters around. But when Tim Kennedy's on there, he's talking about we don't have the pool anymore to recruit Rangers. That's really scary, right? So, and that's a big picture, but you're seeing it. I mean, teams we want to be the greatest nation, in the world, right? And a lot of that will stem from just moving more. We just got to get these kids off the dang couch, right?
It's interesting. We're now seeing it happen on the technology side, where some of these bigger players are taking a little bit of ownership in it too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Apple even just introduced, I think in their latest version, something to monitor your total screen time, which is a huge step forward.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of apps do that, but to now see one of these people who, arguably want you to be more connected to your device all the time, they're starting to see the negative impact of that it's having, on the social side or the developmental side or even the happiness side. I mean, I think technology and screen time and light and all of that is a major contributor to overall depression, and so we're seeing some of these technology giants really step up to the plate. It's definitely not the answer, I think, but it's probably a step in the right direction.
I think 100%. I mean, if you look at going back to that neurologist, we've interviewed a guy named Jeff Dermer. Check him out. He's based out of Atlanta. But the blue light scenario on top of the sleep deprivation is really scary. You're on your screen in your bed, and then you're laying there and you're wondering why you can't get to sleep.
Yeah.
It's because you're jacked up. That blue light's the same as the sunlight, right? So, lifestyle habits in terms of just like monitoring sunlight are ridiculously important, but we're losing touch with that, right, to some degree. But simple things like that. There's apps for your phone. You can set up your iPhone to take the blue light out at a certain time, and I'll do that. And wearing the goofy little goggles if you're going to be screen time late at night can really, really be helpful. So that, to me, that would sneak into like some lifestyle habits that you need to help yourself be healthier, which I think pay off in dividends. If you're not sleeping, it's probably your fault. We're probably the only creature in nature that purposely deprives themselves of sleep. I can't think of another one that does that, and I think the effects of it are brutal.
I took a nap right before this podcast, just saying.
I tried to while I drove.
See, that's right there.
I slept all the way down here while I was driving.
Yeah.
You have a car that just keeps you in the lane,
Yeah.
so take a little quick nap.
The torture and conquer does not allow me to sleep.
I'm all about the nap game.
I think it's strong. We should sleep more. You're right.
I don't know, well, maybe my device doesn't have a blue light because I can't read a half a page on my Kindle without falling asleep.
So you need to ball that up, Rudy. You got to figure out a way to get other people.
Yeah, unfortunately for a lot of people, telling them just to sleep more doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No.
Maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't. I don't know, but it's definitely on the ownership of the individual. Like, it's helping that the phones do have the blue light function. It does help that they're apps to monitor screen time, but at the end of the day, you have to take some ownership on yourself to just shut it off. I mean, you won't have to worry about blue light if you don't have it on to begin with.
Well, that's where I think, we talk about lifestyle habits are important. In my mind, is even when I talk to these kids that I train or most adults, like, your lifestyle should make you healthy, right? Your training should make you awesome. So if you have something that you want to work towards in a physical sense, like you guys all want to bench big weights, me, I want to go overhead with them, some people want to run marathons, but if you have that kind of movement.
What is this bench thing?
It's the powerlifting thing, right?
Oh.
Chris hasn't bench pressed in like 3 years.
He can't bench. He can't straighten his elbow.
But the point there is, like, you should have a training goal that you're inspired by, that you're passionate about, that kind of will hopefully limit some of those activities, right? If you have the right training goal, whether it's at the powerlifting total or making a national meet or international team or going marathon running, that training goal should be enough to discipline you, to get off the phone, to eat right. And if it's not, you might want to just reassess the goal and go after something harder. And that's where I think lifestyle and training should find some balance.
Well, but you're obviously a good parent, and I think parenting comes into play here. Yeah, parenting comes into play a lot here. I mean, it's not, you can't expect the kids to necessarily monitor themselves. I hear Chris getting on Briley and Corley all the time about how much media time that they can be on, and just they've got to get out and move around and do something different.
Yeah.
And if your parents aren't monitoring, the kids aren't going to monitor themselves.
Yeah, and people don't want to hear that either. But I'll see it a lot from a lot of parents. Like, hey, my kid's not good at this. Can you fix that? What's going on here? And they don't. They're not present in the parenting. Is a lot of the time where they'll want it, but they want other people to deliver it.
So, it's somebody else's responsibility to fix the problem.
Yeah, and mind you, if you tell them, well, maybe instead of watching TV for 3 hours, and when you go out to eat, you're all sitting at your tablet. You should just engage with each other and see what they're doing. Like, and as soon as you put it in that conversation, they don't want to have it. Well, that's what you're doing, right? I'm like, it's all together. Like, I want to help you, but
don't talk to me. Just text me.
Well, and this can be a conversation, I think, for adults, kids, anybody. But as humans, we're super adaptable. But are we going to adapt to the 30 minutes you spend a week with a coach, learning you to teach them specialized skill? Or are you going to adapt to the other 23 and a half hours a day that you're kind of farting around sleeping, right? So that's where I think this whole lifestyle conversation needs to even happen with kids. Like, get them off the couch, get them off the iPad, get them to do different things, and look at it in a 24-hour picture about what you can do. And like you brought up parenting can come into that, What was talking about Mark Bell, the 10-minute walk? Do that as a family instead of
actually. I've been doing that. My son really enjoys that. So
the 10-minute walk.
Yep. Post dinner.
That's a great time to just chat with.
But it's so funny because you like actually my son is sitting out there right now on some technology. We just got back, so he's got his first little bit for the day in, and when we get out of this, he's going to be over. But the first thing he'll do is whine and complain about it. Yeah. Like the two of them, my two kids will do that. Oh, there's nothing to do. It's so horrible. And then like 30 minutes later, you'll find them, and they're having the most wonderful time running and playing and jumping on equipment and doing but they don't want to do it. It's the worst thing ever until you say, oh, this is what you're doing.
And kids are super adaptable with that. Like, they'll figure out what to do with their time. Like, I tell my wife and friends a lot, like, I'm not the kid's concierge. I'm the dad. And I'll take blocks of time to do stuff with them and teach them things and play with them. But, they should also figure out how to manage boredom. And they should get into trouble. And they should climb on stuff. And they should act like kids and play. Like, what are we doing trying to overstructure their time?
I didn't tell you this, Chris, but the other day I walked in the back of the manufacturing facility, and Briley was climbing on the storage racks. He's up 25 feet in the air.
Nice.
I'm screaming,
oh,
Briley, get down
from him.
please.
No, there's been a few times people are like, your kids are up there. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, be careful, you'll die if you fall. Maybe I'm not the best. Now I've got the problem. So Briley has been on me all last week. This is my 9-year-old son. He is bound and determined that we are working on the war rig together this summer.
What is the war rig?
The war rig, you'll be introduced to the war rig in the back. So this is lots of cutting and welding and grinding and big heavy.
A small step up from the Leaf.
It's a small step up from the Leaf. So yeah, it's kind of like a tank.
Well, it's a little boy's. It sounds like a little boy's paradise.
Like, I'm trying to figure out what he can and can't do without like losing an arm and having his mother chasing me down. So it's a delicate balance of.
He's been working me for a job for the summer, but he wants to start at $100 an hour.
Nice.
Right.
Smart kid.
Values his own time.
He said he wants to earn enough money to get a laptop. So it's going to cost him $500. He wants to work 5 hours to earn his laptop.
That's not too bad. Nice. Tell him you can get one for $200 if you can only work 2 hours.
Now it's the
I had to explain to him because he's like, well, if he doesn't do that, I'm just going to annoy Rudy till he gives me $500. I'm like,
that might work.
I'm like, that is not a good plan. That's not a good plan.
It'll work one time.
So, Joe, obviously the book has just been launched, and I suspect it'll be a success. Do you have future plans? You thought about a successor to?
Well, I have 3 kids, and you guys who have kids.
Is Lucy the oldest or
Lucy's the youngest?
The youngest. Okay.
So I have to do 2 more to do to deal with that.
Keep it fair.
Yeah, the wife has already said like this is not going to work out if Lucy's gets the only book. So we're working on different things. A weightlifting thing one and a fitness one for the other 2 kids. But yeah, I mean, well, I hope it's a success. And honestly, if it's not, it's structured in a way to it's a gift to the kids. I think that's what's neat. Like I didn't realize it doing something like this, but actually having like the physical book was a gift in itself. Like people saying, "Hey, you're an author." I'm like, "Nah, well."
What's the middle kid's name?
Charlie Ann, but Charlie.
So Charlie Ann meets an exhibition lifter.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's my sport.
I don't want to give this away, but I will. On this. But I think we're going to go Charlie in the Kilo Factory. Be a weightlifting
nice.
book. What do you think?
I like that.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we work that out? So.
I don't know. I'll have to check
The
with
Kilo Factory, as long as it doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With Pablo
That's right.
Escobar or anyone like that.
The chocolate factory.
If I could find a way to mix cocaine, kids, and weightlifting in a fun, playful way,
You're
I'd
already
probably
doing
be
it
a bit
with
of a
whiskey,
magician.
so it's all right.
Yeah, bourbon and babies. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think my ultimate goal for this book would be like a starting step to like engage PE teachers on, okay, fun is cool, but there should also be a hard aspect to how you're training these kids. You know what I mean? Like anymore, life is so easy. People should have a training ground to make their life a little harder. And if you can dip that into the PE setting in terms of giving real training, not just teaching them how to play tag games and flag touch this and presidential fitness score that, but like real hard training or however you want to drop that in with the strength and conditioning setting, I think that would be the goal for me. And so we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen from it. I'm not a real planner. My wife's a planner. I just, you guys seem to have it going. I'm walking around this facility. You guys seem to plan things pretty well and go from this step to that. Me, I just do stuff I like, and
that's
I
not true.
hope it works out. All right, so and that's
It's a nice blend. We balance each other out outside.
Yeah,
I think of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
So who starts the fires? Who puts them out? And
I
who
run
funds the whole
I run through the wall. I run through the wall, and then I say,
Chris is the arsonist.
frame that in behind me and tell everybody it's a door.
Well, so get this. We all took a personality assessment, and I got like I don't even remember what it was, but it was
Trusted advisor.
I got trusted advisor.
Nice.
There's things like really noble sounding titles, and Chris literally got one, and it was the arsonist.
Nice.
And it was just
Nice.
totally starting fires everywhere.
It's like
runs away.
but it was like you need to surround yourself with good people, and I'm like, yes, I did something right.
What was your title?
I don't know what was my title.
He was like just like good at everything.
Yeah.
I don't. It
We
was,
actually had a lot
it
of
was,
everything.
Yeah, it was
Generalist. Awesome.
Except no,
It was,
he's supposed to stay away from finances. That was
That's great.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've warned you.
Have you guys found that was helpful in like setting up the structure of what you guys have going in here?
It was helpful in understanding the team dynamics.
Okay. After the team was built.
Yeah, but like,
But it's actually,
what are future?
it actually
What are
underscored what I think we kind of already knew. We sort of grouped together. It's sort of funny that the people with the similar personalities are working in the areas that they're supposed to be. And
Sure.
those that have the
Kind of how people gravitate towards what they're good at.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I had a feeling y'all were.
But it kind of highlighted where some gaps were in in like our team, so that was useful. Yeah.
But it was cool coming in here because it reminded me of being in the high school football locker room or college locker room where you guys, that the team is strong if you all have different nicknames for each other and you're messing with each other. Because if you walk into like this stale atmosphere with a bunch of guys, they probably don't like each other, right? You know what I
It's a
mean?
very antagonistic atmosphere, I would say.
No, and I think guys flourish under that.
I sent Chris a text like 4 days ago. He didn't respond, and then he finally responded like a day ago, and he goes, "Hey, did you just send that to mess with me?"
and that's how you know he's.
I think I ended up telling him he wasn't as strong as he thought he was
Nice.
in a roundabout
Very
way.
I got a good workout out of it though.
Yeah, the thing about it for 3 days.
Yeah, it's like, hey, did you just try and mess with me? Because
So I missed the workout, right? So,
Oh man.
So I text Brandon about it, and
well,
he
he
basically
performed the
came-
workout.
Yeah. I attempted.
You
didn't miss it. He didn't just not show up.
No. I missed it. Like
something.
I wasn't able to lift the weights.
Okay.
So then I came back, took a couple of days off, came back, and it was deadlift workout, and did the same workout, but from a deficit this time, just to
Be
Just
mad.
very-
just to,
Can I ask you a question, Chris? I know that you, we have Special Olympics rolling through Seattle, I think, January 23rd, no, July 23rd, excuse
Okay.
me. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But I know that you did the 800 pounds for a squat.
Yep.
A whole month.
Yep.
How long ago was that? About 3 weeks?
That was in
A month
April.
ago?
Yeah.
How's your body feel now?
Pretty good now.
Are you recovered?
Yeah,
completely?
it took.
Seemed brutal.
It was brutal. It was about 2.5 weeks before I could squat again.
Okay.
But I had a lot of just lethargy fatigue for the weeks even still following that. So yeah.
Chronic fatigue.
Yeah. Yeah. It was way more on me. Pretty good. So.
But
There's a lot of
in terms
people that were
recovery,
messing-
I mean, it was 2.5 weeks later that we were at CSCCA. You did 800 for 5 reps.
Not 6 though.
Not 6. Was 6 the goal?
Dang
Yeah.
6 was the goal.
it. Well, no one would know that. I didn't say it. I would say I hit my goal of 5.
I hit my goal of 3 plus 2.
Well, I think your conversation about lifting that much weight and how, okay, it might be 90%, but still, I'm a human. And it's 800 pounds. Makes a big difference.
Well, yeah, because I gotta
30 days.
I did get a lot of people messaging me or commenting saying, "What kind of huge training bump did you get after that?" And I'm like, I didn't. I was beat up. And they're like, "But you should have." And I'm like, "No, you're comparing it to if I was a 500-pound squatter squatting at 90%.
Sure.
90% is not 90%." And yeah, I don't know how else to describe that.
Well, I wonder if anyone is working on that, because when, even, what's the documentary about strongman now with Eddie Hall, and just watching the torment that these world championship lifters go through in strongman to just push weight, to be big, to be strong, to bear those loads. Long term with that, it would have been cool if you weren't the arsonist and maybe looking back on the start of that 800-pound situation for a month, if maybe some of those metrics were measured throughout.
Yeah, because I didn't really plan this whole thing. It just kind of. I am planning my next one, though. I am planning my next one, but that one I was specifically told not to do, and that it would destroy me. And whatever it came. He was right. Yeah, blah blah.
I think his comment at the end was, "I died last month."
Okay, I think if you're not dying every month or a moment in the year, you're probably not living either, right? That's a kind of a Braveheart quote,
Probably.
right there. You know what I mean? So you should.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I think so. I mean,
What happened to him at the end of the movie?
He died, but he died hard and inspired.
Nobly.
Yeah, he died nobly, right? But that's a goofy thing to say. But to loop maybe that to the conversation before about the book and movement and what everybody's doing here, in this country, we're super fortunate. The easiest life in the world right now. No matter how you're brought up in the society, whether you're homeless or you're a millionaire, your life is really easy than probably everybody else in the world. So with that, the responsibility there is to challenge yourself, to live up to your potential, right? So that 800-pound for squat for a month is a pretty brutal test, right?
Well, nobody can take that away from me.
That's right. And maybe someone's test is snatching
I
100
doubt if anyone's
kilos,
going to
right?
try to repeat it either.
Somebody will. Someone will do 801.
No,
You
they
don't
won't.
think so? No.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe that's a challenge to everybody. Somebody.
It's a challenge to
Somebody
anyone.
do it.
Go
It's out there. Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
That's all I got to say. Go for it.
So you're not recommending it?
Ask him when he's going to do it again.
Never.
Never.
You don't have to until someone does 801, and you have to do 802.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
That one's safe, probably. For a while.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, speaking of Special Olympics, so we are trying to pull together a competition here later this year,
Okay.
which would be sort of a pro-am tournament where we would have Special Olympians with regular athletes
Fire it up.
teamed up so that their combined score So you would enter and pay for your entry fee and for a Special Olympian, and then that would be your buddy, and the combined score would be what would win the
I love
meet.
it.
So we're working with that. Cassandra and I are going to meet with the local officials here next week to try to put the finishing touches on that. It'll be kind of fun. I don't know if anyone's ever done that before, but it sounds like a fun thing to do.
100%. I had a cousin, my cousin Justin. He's adopted, but he used to participate in the Special Olympics. Like, when we were in Texas, we would referee certain events. It's fun. It's an unbelievable group. You know what I mean? To have those kiddos not only just like get a hug when they cross the finish line, but actually accomplish something in front of people and overcome certain things. You know, and maybe that's the other part too, because we are so fortunate. You should look for opportunities to be generous and opportunities to help folks. And you know, if you have to squat 800 pounds for 30 days to help a Special Olympics, that's one way, but probably volunteering. When is that? When's the competition going to be?
It'll probably be in October. That's what we're shooting for.
Oh, cool. Well, I want to be involved. I drove down here to drink whiskey, talk about my book, and talk shit. So let's come down here and help some folks. We're ready
sounds
to go.
good. Yeah. We'll put you on the list.
My birthday's October 1st, though. So maybe it'll be a birthday present to myself coming back down to Portland.
All right.
There you go.
Well, you just better start training. Then. You're going to have to.
It's got to be
find a buddy.
powerlifting. Can we get a weightlifting thing? Is it going to
You're
be?
just making it complicated.
Yeah.
We're
Whatever it is.
one thing at a time.
One thing at a
That's
time.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're starting to bump towards the end of the podcast. Where can people? You talk about where we can find the book, but
Sure.
you've got the podcast going on as well. Where can people find more about you, what you're doing,
Yeah.
all that good stuff?
Sure.
Social media, whatever.
joesbarbell.com. I have a lot of stuff there where you can find the podcast and social media stuff. And Lucy Meets a Powerlifter. Lucy with an I is where you can find information on getting a book and working that out. And yeah, Instagram handles, they're all I think on the Facebook, or I don't know. Social media is just wrapped up and crazy. So just go to the website. Go to Joe's
Okay.
Barbell or go to LucyMeetsAPowerlifter.com. And I'm a work in progress as a fitnesspreneur, or whatever they call these people.
A fitspo.
I like a
Fitspo?
fitnesspreneur.
A fitspo.
Is that what that name stands
A
for?
fitspo.
Is that what it
A
means?
fitness professional.
Oh,
Fitspo. Because it's too hard to say fitness professional.
Fitspo?
It's like you have a
Fitspro?
Instagram.
Fitspro or Fitspo?
Fitspro.
Fitspo.
Fitspo.
No, it's Fitspo.
Fitspo?
That's what the ladies say.
Oh, that's weird.
I would like to walk away with a tidbit from you guys, because you seem to not only be awesome but productive. How did we make that jump from just doing stuff that you like to doing stuff that you're actually productive with?
To doing stuff that you're productive with. Define that a little further.
Well, you like I said, just in the short time we've talked, you're hiring people. You guys are blowing up. You're making equipment, and it just seems like there's not only fun in training here, but there's a level of production that seems to be not only sustainable, but you're also helping other folks. Right?
I think it all comes down to that last bit. I mean,
What's
helping other folks.
Yeah.
We have a very distinct, vision of who we are as a company,
Okay.
and how we can affect the world in a positive manner. And so, if people joining the team are joining that goal, that objective, you're not getting hired to a job. Do you want to be part of this? Do you want to be part of what we're doing and what we're trying to drive?
Yeah, we say it
And
starts
so-
with why. Actually, it's why are we in business, and that's what we focus on that. And we're in business to make the world a better place through strength.
Very cool.
It's not about what we do or how we do it, but why we do it. And that's the passion that everybody has here. We honestly somehow in our minds think that we're going to make a difference in the world with strength. So that's,
We believe it, and there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot. We could chase that down and spell it out a little bit further than that, but that's kind of the high level picture of what it is.
I love it.
This is why we're around, and when somebody joins the team, it's are you joining the mission?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds kind of cultish, but it's almost a little bit that, right? So.
And opportunities just seem to come to us because we focus on the why and not about how much money can we make or what can we do, but what's the next tool. It's just about why we're here. Everything seems to fall in place. We become fortunate when we focus on the why.
So it's more than just taking shots of bourbon.
No, I mean it's an extension. It's an extension of like life goals and however you think about like
Sure.
why am I around? Why do what can I do for the world? Like, your work should be, if at all possible, it's not always that way for everyone, but like how can it be an extension and provide that, not just be like something I come do.
Sure.
Something I come do to make money, something that I do to take care of my family, which are all important. But if you can get there, that's where you should be.
Fired up. Cool, fellas. Well, man, this was fun. Do you want to do one more before we get out of here?
Sure.
Let's go. I didn't bring the bottle to leave it or take it back.
I'm good. I'm going to train a little bit.
All right. I'm
It's
supposed
called
to train.
whiskey and deadlifts. You're wearing the shirt,
supposed to
Rudy.
Yeah, deadlifts were Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm not driving back to Tacoma
Today's
after
bench
this, so we're good to go.
I can't drive back to Tacoma sober.
Brandon,
Can have
Chris?
Lucy drive.
Yeah, right. Well,
I'll take you a quick walk around the shop too.
Yeah, I'm fired up because I would like to see how these barbells are made. I'm going to try and influence you to make maybe we'll influence you to make an Oli bar.
Actually,
There's plans for that?
there's plans for that.
Well, cheers to that,
So,
folks. That's the real dark side.
There you go. Thanks again for
Rudy,
being here,
thank you.
Joe. Appreciate it.
Whoop. Didn't spill.
You have to lick that up.
yeah, we're done.
Sweet.